There we go. We're recording. And it's going to tell we're recording, and you just have to hit OK. So anyway, welcome to the 21-day reset. I'm so excited to be here and be able to share this information with you. It's stuff that there's a lot of veterans on here. Scott Simons was just saying he'd lost 100 pounds when we started doing this program. We did it every week for a year. And a lot of the people here were in those groups. Nancy Schmidt here lost several pounds, I know. And it's not about losing weight. It's about regaining your health and regaining your body's ability to function correctly. And so tonight, what I'm going to do is just lay out the presentation, what our goals are every day and each week. So it's very, very doable. And we're breaking it up in little teeny pieces. So I'm going to share my screen here and start my little presentation. Participants will now see this. So you're all seeing it, right? And then I'm going to start my slideshow from the beginning. I've gotten pretty good at this over the years. Okay, so the 21-day reset, July 24th, 2023. We're looking for the fountain of youth, and we found it. So we're going to help you turn back your biological clock. And as you go through this process, you're going to understand a lot of how that works. Dr. Dan Pompa is a cellular healing leader, really good friend of mine. There he is, and I'll move this over so we can see him. We're in Park City, Utah. Right there, you can see the Park City ski resort, some of the runs in the back there. I've been working with Dr. Pompa for about 5 years, and the guy's amazing. I went to a seminar with about 8,000 people, and Dr. Pompa did a presentation, and I've always loved understanding physiology and biochemistry, which is the way the body works. And after the show, I went over to his booth, and I saw a really good friend of mine, Dr. Mindy Pelz, who you guys may have heard of. I've known her for over 20 years. She just marched in, gave him a big hug, and walked in backstage. And I went, Mindy, who is this guy? And she goes, you just want to join his thing, no questions asked. And I did. And, you join this big program and you study, talk about getting hit in the face with a fire hose. Unbelievable information. So we've been working together. We meet once a week with about 25, 30 docs. We're all going to be up in Portland at a really cool new rejuvenative clinic coming up in the middle of next month. So that's going to be really fun. Why am I not going to my next slide? Okay, so Dr. Pompa's big thing is fix a cell to get well. And we want to move stuff into the cells and bad stuff out of the cells. So we want to help our cells become healthier. If you can see this slide here, I'm going to move this over here now. Thing's going to be in the way the whole presentation. Healthy cells. We have 75 trillion cells in our body. That is the only live part of us. If our cells are unhealthy, we're unhealthy. And we have a nervous system that goes to every one of those 75 trillion cells, and a circulatory system that takes foods and hormones to those cells and takes the bad stuff away. One reason we're rated 47th in the world for health today in the United States is rated 47th in the world for health. We are only 4% of the population, but we take over 50% of all the drugs in the world. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. It's a sickness care system. But it's because we're not looking for the upstream cause of disease. Upstream means what do you need to do to fix the health of the person, not just cover up their symptoms. So fix the cell to get well. That's what this program's all about. Why doesn't this work right? I'll move this over here. Maybe I do that. Fix the computer to get well. How's that? There we go. Okay, so the 21-day reset. Want to welcome you to get started. There are a bunch of downloads that you have received, or if you haven't, they're in the email that Mariah has sent several times. It's a keto shopping list. It's a list of 2 pages of foods that you, when you go to the store, you can buy and you can realize what not to buy. A keto cheat sheet, which just kind of gives you the basics. A bunch of good recipes. Now, I've posted a lot of good recipes that you watch me make them. We do it in about 3 to 5 minutes because we've got everything prepared. And then a glossary of terms. There's going to be some new words that are going to be thrown out that you won't have heard before, like autophagy, autophagy. Auto means self and phagy means eating. So autophagy is something that your body does when it's eating up the bad cells in your body so you can create a new, healthier body. So those are some of the words that you want to become very familiar with, and you want to become very familiar with the term fix a cell to get well. Okay, so we want to take a look at what is your reason for doing this program? What is your why? And how did you survive the debacle, is what I like to call it. How did your health hold up back in 2022 or for the last 3 or 4 years? Do you think you're healthier now than you were before or not? And if we don't change anything, we can see what the future holds. So it's almost halfway, well, it's halfway through 2023 now, but it's really a good time to take stock of going, well, where are we going for the rest of the year? What do I want to do? So many times people come into my office and they go, well, I'm sore today, or I'm in pain today. And we talk about what you need to do today to get healthy because we're so used to taking a pill to getting well. But covering up the symptoms, is that going to help us in 5, 10, 15, 20, 30 years down the road? You know, right now, nobody dies of old age. We all die of chronic disease. I don't know why this is being so difficult. There we go. So now you might have some reasons that you are on this today, and maybe you want to lose weight. Now, we know you'll lose weight on this program. That's great, but it's not necessarily the goal. You may have low energy. Most people these days are telling me that they do. You might have a lot of brain fog. Brain fog comes from basically a toxic environment inside your body. And we're going to teach you how to not eat inflammatory foods that burn like a smoky pine, wet pine in your fireplace. You open the door and it bellows into the house versus a gas stove, which burns clean. So those are ketones burn clean, which come from fat, and then or healthy oils. And the other thing is glucose, and we're going to talk about that. So when we clean up the environment, we start thinking better. A good example is if you're driving down the road and you have a hose in your exhaust pipe and put it inside the window and you're driving around, you're going to get sick, you know, and pretty soon you'll, be nauseous and all that. But if you take the hose out, guess what? The air will be clean and you'll get well again. So this is what we're doing. We're cleaning out the environment, your body. We need to work on the detoxification organs like the liver, the colon, the bladder, kidneys, skin, and lungs. So the first phase is to get our downstream detoxification pathways open. So we'll go through this a little bit at a time. Disease prevention. If you have a toxic environment, I think it's day 4. There's going to be a longer video and there's a video of Dr. Bruce Lipton in there. If you don't know Bruce Lipton, you want to. He's talking about a diseased cell in a polluted environment. And you take those cells out and put them in a clean environment and they start to get well. You leave them in a polluted environment and they're going to get sick and die. So we're going to teach you how to get your body's cells in a healthy environment so you can thrive. This will turn off autoimmune diseases. Autoimmune diseases are caused by internal toxins, whether they're heavy metals, molds, hidden infections, parasites, things like that get in our body, and our body's so busy fighting itself that it doesn't have enough energy to do anything else. And we want to boost our immune system with this program. And boosting our immune system, how important is it to have a strong immune system? Vitally, especially these days, because we're going to be challenged. We've been challenged. Anxiety and depression. When you have your digestive system working right, like we've heard of leaky gut syndrome, maybe 95% of the population have it to some degree. Serotonin is a feel-good transmitter. 70% of all the serotonin receptors are in our intestines. And if they're inflamed, they'll never get the results of those serotonin. Anxiety, heavy metals like mercury accumulated in the brain cause anxiety, and also lead accumulated in the brain causes depression. 4 generations down through mom's umbilical blood do we get these things. And then a lot of people did get sick, and they have what's called long COVID. You may or may not have heard of that. But these are things that your body is losing the battle or hasn't recovered well. So as we take your body's available energy and we channel it towards certain things at certain times, your body's going to get healthier. It takes 60% of your energy to digest food. So if you're eating 6 meals a day, like they tell the diabetics to, your energy is being so used to digest all that food that you can't ever use any of that energy to heal your body. Now, if you're diabetic, I'm not telling you to go stop doing what the doctors tell you. We need to have a workaround, and we'll help you with that. Okay, now comes the fun part. Oh, I figured out how to do it now. Okay. So, no, that's not what I wanted to move. I want to move you guys. There we go. Okay, so this is what we're going to learn in week 1, and I'm going to break down every week for you, okay? First, day 2 is tomorrow. We're going to teach you what ketones are versus glucose. This is a 5-minute, 35-second video. So in 5 minutes, we're going to cover this. So most of these workshops are going to be 5 minutes long, 3 minutes long. Every day, you're going to get a little tidbit so that you can build on it and actually start to learn how to turn back your biological clock and actually get your body functioning well. So the Breakfast of Champions is what people like I grew up with in the 60s and 70s. With Breakfast of Champions was Wheaties, toast with jelly on it, and orange juice. And all of it turned to sugar immediately. That's why most of the people my age have such terrible health, because we've been taught the wrong thing. And the recipe you will get tomorrow is jicama wrap chicken tacos. So you can get jicama wraps at either Trader Joe's or now they have them at Whole Foods, and there'll be a picture of them in a minute. But the jicama wraps, they're great. It's like if you've ever had those spring rolls that are wrapped in rice paper versus the greasy fried ones, it's very refreshing. So when you make a jicama wrap taco, and the recipe's real easy, that's so refreshing, and you'll enjoy it. Day 3, we'll go over how to measure how many carbs you're getting. So it's called net carbs, how many carbs you are, because you want to keep your carbs down to about 50 carbs a day. And we're going to work towards that. So we're going to teach you the mathematical equations to take your total carbs, subtract the total fiber, and because you can't digest fiber, so we just eliminate that out of the equation, and then you get the net carbs. Also, the rosemary lamb artichokes and a really cool salad will be the recipe. The recipes are about 2 minutes if you see me cooking it. Now, day 4 is very important. It's an advanced training. It's some Q&A there. It's about 50 minutes long, and I really recommend that you take the time to watch this, because I've gone into a lot of detail. So if you can do that, I just tell you, it's going to make all the difference in the world for you. That's where Dr. Bruce Lipton talks about healthy cells versus sick cells. You're going to learn about the deadly trio, which are heavy metals, molds, and hidden infections, how they manifest, and what they actually do to cause chronic disease. Chronic inflammation causes chronic disease. we are filled with chronic disease in this country. I'll go into that a little more. We're going to go into exercise recommendations, feel good transmitters, serotonin versus dopamine. And, you know, both of those we crave. Serotonin is the feel good transmitter that kind of gives you that satisfying, no guilt feeling. Okay. Dopamine, on the other hand, makes you feel good, but also guilty, because dopamine comes from going and eating a bunch of pizza. You know, you get that immediate craving, but then you feel like crap because you just did something that you probably shouldn't have done. So we want to teach you how to get the serotonin type transmitters working better. And when the cells are healthier, you need less of any hormone or transmitter to actually act on the cells so you feel good, those 75 trillion cells. We're going to actually teach you about the toxins in your home in this video. And there's something called the Think Dirty app, which may not be as fun as you think about it, but it's an app that you can get for free that you can go to any store and do the barcode on it, and it will break down how toxic any of the elements are in that food. And we'll go into that on day 4. So I highly recommend that you watch it. Day 5 is autophagy again, autophagy. Auto means your body's eating the bad cells, because bad cells can't adapt. We're going to teach your body how to stress itself. The body loves stress, the mind doesn't, but the body loves this up and down season thing. Like, you know, we used to have seasons. They would go get a mammoth, and then they would have to be in winter and eat roots and nuts and rendered fat. Then it would be starvation spring. Then they'd eat grass. Then they'd get fruits and vegetables. Then they'd have to kill a mammoth again. Your body loves diet variation. And we're going to talk about the way the microbiome in your gut, the 100 trillion microbiome in your gut that eat all your food and create the nutrients for you. We're going to teach you how to get rid of the bad ones and get more of the good ones, because the bad ones just make you sick. So, and then there's a yummy steak recipe or chicken salad recipe. And then I'm going to tell you this right now. Sorry for what I said while fasting. We're not really getting into fasting now, but even today, somebody in my office, even thinking about us starting this, was going, what are we eating? I'm hungry, you know, and then hangry is the word. Don't worry about it. You're not going to starve to death on this diet. I guarantee. Just look down. You know, you've got some stored energy. So as you get rid of those bad microbiome, you're not going to be hungry between meals, and you'll be amazed at how that works. So the autophagy video is 3 minutes, and then we're going to go into intermittent fasting and autophagy again, because this is so important, and how your body starts to increase its stem cell production. 2.5 minutes. And then the bell pepper recipe, that's good. Okay, now what did I do? There we go. Okay, resting and fasting, the best medicine, the best of all medicines. Benjamin Franklin, he was a pretty smart guy. There's a word for the knowledge he had, and I can't remember what it is. If anybody knows, they can put it in the chat. But he taught himself, he had very little schooling. He taught himself several languages and several musical instruments. And then, of course, you know, he would travel over as ambassador of everybody. So he was a pretty smart guy. And but he realized when you were sick, you fast and you rest. And we're going to teach you more about this whole process. Okay, the 7 benefits of fasting. Number 1, autophagy. Your body's going to eat the bad cells so that they're not, you know, like bad cells are like a bowl of apples and you have a rotten apple in there. That's a senescent cell. It's senile. It needs to go away. It's supposed to have already died, but it didn't. And so it's sitting there rotten the rest of the apples. Your body in moments of fasting will go scavenge the senescent cells, the bad apples, and basically break them down to fuel. So that's really good. And we're going to talk about stem cell production. Your body's going to produce its own stem cells. After a certain amount of not eating, the body has a higher amount of stem cells. And stem cells, like an egg and a sperm, they come together and they're going to go replace the bad cells in your body and create health for you. We're going to teach you about ketones. What is a ketone? It's fat. Your body burns two types of fuel. It's like the first, what are these vehicles where they can burn electricity and gas? Well, our body's been doing that since day one. We burn fat and ketones, and then carbohydrates and protein burn as glucose. So but nobody knows how to burn a fat. They don't even know what a ketone is because we eat the breakfast of champion meals. And so we end up putting on more weight, and we get hungry, and those crazy microbiomes in our gut are going, feed me, feed me, feed me. And you look at us, we're one of the sickest countries in the industrialized world. We're going to teach your body energy diversion. Remember, 60% of the energy in your body is used to digest your food. So we're going to teach you how to have a shorter eating window. So if you have an eating window of about 6 to 8 hours, not tomorrow, but this is going to happen over 21 days, and you're going to find your own window. The rest of the time, your body can go heal itself. But if you're eating from dawn to dusk, your body has no energy to heal itself, and chronic disease just perpetuates and perpetuates. Hormone optimization is really the number one thing we're trying to accomplish here. The brain perceives the environment through touch, through the nervous system, eyes, hear, on all this stuff. It goes into the brain and gets converted to a hormone in the master gland called the pituitary and hypothalamus gland. That chemical goes through our bloodstream and acts on every cell in the body and gives us the actions of life. When the cells are so crusty and filled with trans fatty acids and toxins and glyphosate and all this stuff, hormones can't attach to them. They're floating around in the body, and just like insulin is a hormone, they give people insulin because they can't digest sugar. So rather than get them to not even need sugar and teach them to burn ketones instead, they give them insulin, more and more insulin. So remember, there's 3 types of diabetes. Diabetes type 1, which means your pancreas just doesn't work. Diabetes type 2, which is acquired by a toxicity and bad diets, unhealthy cells that the doors don't open anymore. And then diabetes type 3, which is too much insulin in the body, called hyperinsulinemia. Hyper means too much, insulin means insulin, and emia means blood, hyperinsulinemia. It's got another name. Diabetes type 3 got another name, Alzheimer's disease. So we are creating people's to have Alzheimer's type disease by not taking care of their diabetes correctly, by just giving them these 6 meals a day. And Dr. Jason Fung is the guy to talk. Well, I'll talk about him on another day. And then reset your microbiome. This is the key. If we can kill off all the bad microbiome that are craving sugar, that are the ones that we're working with that person in my office today going, I'm hungry, I gotta eat, I gotta eat. I go, you're not going to starve to death. You've got some stored energy. So when you get the hangry, we're going to, just embrace it, understand it. It's not this brain, it's the microbiome craving instant gratification. So when you want the ice cream, ain't your fault, it's their fault. So what we're going to do, we're going to make them pay for it by wiping out through a process of intermittent fasting, diet variation. We're going to get rid of the bad ones, and you're going to have a nice, healthy environment in your digestive system, and you're going to live happily ever after. So, this isn't all going to happen in 21 days, but we're going to teach your body teach you and your body how to function correctly and reduce the disease, increase your immune system, really important right now. And then also, because the cells get so toxic, and they can't, anytime you burn gas, there's exhaust coming out of the back. Every time you burn glucose or even a ketone in the cell, it does produce exhaust. And if that exhaust can't get out of the cell, it gets into your genes, and it can cause bad genes to turn on. Genetic coding in your DNA gets turned on by these toxic genes. It's just like a switch. We all have 7 Alzheimer's genes in our body. We've got several colon cancer genes, about 7 or 8 breast cancer genes, all these genes, but they're not all turned on. How do we keep them turned off? keep the cells healthy, fix the cell to get well. So the health triangle, wow, that happened real quickly that time. Health triangle: physical, chemical, mental, emotional, and spiritual, okay? So we're working with the chemistry in this workshop. A lot of you are chiropractic patients. The nervous system is vital, that you have a strong working nervous system, because that's going to communicate to all 75 trillion cells. And if the liver isn't working right, if the kidneys aren't working right, if your lungs aren't lunging right, then I don't care what you do with the chemistry, the nerve is choked off, you're still going to have a problem. So if you're not local, or if you are and you're going to a chiropractor, fantastic. If you're not, you should have your nervous system checked. But we're focusing on chemistry in this workshop. Over the last 3 years, because nobody could meet or do anything right, my patients got, their health chemically got worse and worse and worse. And I saw people come in to get chiropractic care that would normally get better results take longer because of the decline of their chemical health, their hormones, the chronic inflammation in their body, the cells that couldn't communicate to the rest of the body. And then mental, emotional, and spiritual. I think the guy Lao Tzu, who was the guy who was responsible for starting Taoism, he said it basically. He goes, be careful of what you think, because it becomes your thoughts. I can't remember the way it goes, but basically what you think about, you talk about. What you talk about, you bring about. So your destiny becomes what you focus on and think about. So not the point of this workshop, but I am going to be talking about a positive mental attitude and the fact that you can't fail at this. Every single one of you on here are not going to fail because you just start again tomorrow. This is a lifetime journey. It's not a sprint. This is our friend, and this is how a lot of us have been living, whether we want to or not. Maybe our diets aren't so bad. A lot of people come and go, I've been eating well for 30 years. What did you do for the first 20 years? You probably, ate like Bart Simpson here, or whatever, Homer. And we know that 250 billion tons of toxins are dumped on our planet every year. 250 billion tons. We have 114,000 man-made chemicals that our liver has to figure out how to turn around and digest. It's crazy. There's 60% of us are diabetic or pre-diabetic. There's 30 million people diagnosed with thyroid disease. About 30 million people diagnosed with peripheral neuralgia that comes about from the toxins in the nerves, comes around from chemical poisoning, including chemotherapy and stuff. But we got to change this paradigm. Michigan State University said that right now more than 50% of the people in the world lives with chronic disease. 50% of the world, that's 4 billion people have chronic disease. Okay, 81 million Americans have multiple chronic diseases. So that's almost 1/4 of our population. And this other part is really scary. 99% of the disease management is in the hands of the individual or their families. They're not, hospitals can't bet us all. And if they do, they're not really focused on you getting your health back. So now it's not going to change again. Oh, maybe I have to have it over here. Oh, there you go. So this is some of the complaints that we hear people coming in with, body overheating, weight gain, constant fatigue, mood swings, headaches, migraines, bad breath, constipation, insomnia, muscle pain, strain, skin problems, weight gain. Warning signs that indicate your body is overloaded with toxins, okay? Now, so many of us say, if I could just get a magic pill, I'd be happy. It ain't that easy. I wish it were so. But, the old days of taking aspirin and call me in the morning is gone. There's so many more diseases now. When I was a kid, I think 6% of the young people, and I'm 67, 6% of them had chronic disease. Now over 50% of the kids have chronic disease. And the answer doesn't come from the medical profession, doesn't seem to know what to do other than get out a prescription pad. So you kind of take a look at the education and wonder who's teaching the schools. It's the pharmaceutical companies. That's another whole question or thing. Here's the USDA recommended guidelines today. A little bit of oil, sweets used sparingly, and they probably want you to take canola oil and polyunsaturated oils and things like that. Milk, yogurt, cheese, 2 servings a day. Meat, poultry, dry beans, eggs, and all that. Most of those aren't so bad. Then you get down to the fruits and vegetables. That's okay. But look at cereal, grain, chips, bread, rice, muffins, spaghetti, donuts. That's what they're recommending is 6 to 11 servings a day of that. All that does is cause chronic inflammation. And you go wonder, well, doesn't the USDA supposed to be looking out for us? And if they were working on our health for the past 50 years and we're still rated 47th with health, what's their report card? I don't know. Do you keep going along with them or find your own way? As Robert Frost's poem, always said, 2 paths diverged in the woods, and I took the path less traveled by. I love that saying. But the next sentence said, it made all of the difference in the world. So now's a good chance to take that new path. This is what the keto, and not just ketogenic, but this is a healthier recommended pyramid. Now you're going to have all this, so you can flip through these slides. But a little bit of fruits and vegetables, dairy and nuts, non-starchy vegetables, protein, and then healthy oils and fat. So why healthy oils and fat? Because they're going to create our brain. Our brain's made of fat. We've been told that cholesterol is bad and don't eat oils and stay away from anything that has a fat in it, and our brains are drying up more and more and more and more till 1 out of 2 of us are going to be diagnosed with Alzheimer's disease by 2000, I think it's 2000 or 2050, if not sooner. Why? Because we're drying up our brains. We're not eating the right foods. They tell us that it used to be 250 was the cholesterol level was the make break point. And then they went, oh, let's make it 225. And all of a sudden the statin drug people that had stocks in statin drugs went crazy. And then they went, wow, what if we made it 199? And they made it 199. And the sales went up and the statin drugs went up and the stock went up and the people got sicker. And now they want it to be 159 or 149. It's crazy. It's not good. You need cholesterol to make hormones. Hormones make you happy. They make every function in your body occur. So we need to get healthy oils. One of the problems is we've got too many unhealthy oils in our body that are making up our cell wall. But the good part is cells die and new ones are begotten. So, like a stomach cell lasts 5 days, muscle cells 90 days, heart cells 120 days. We're constantly breaking up new old cells that are worn out and tired and getting new cells. So as we're working with autophagy, helping the body break down those quicker and helping increase the new stem cells, our body's going to rejuvenate quicker. So I mentioned diets, and I think we all have tried every diet known to human beings. Which one's the best? None of them. There are none that you should stay on forever. Diet variation is the key. The ancestors came from it. Hunter-gatherers, nuts and roots and fat during winter, starvation spring. Almost every religion has fasting in it, probably because they didn't have any choice back then. But the body does well with this thing called hormesis, where it's being challenged and the strong survive and we wipe out the bad, weak microbiome and the strong ones survive and then they procreate. So right now we're going to be doing the ketogenic diet because we want to get rid of all of that excess fat on our body that stores toxins. And we got to be careful for how quickly we burn it because we don't want to dump too many toxins into the environment, into our body, because then we might get sick. So we're going to switch over later into the paleo diet, and that's more of a meat-based diet, and it helps produce and grow more muscle. It helps with inflammation. And but you don't want to stay in it forever either. We can go through these various diets, but a lot of people got on ketogenic diet 4 years ago and they haven't changed, and they're wondering why they're doing bad and feeling lousy. You have to move in and out of these things. So we're going to teach that. So here's step one for today. We finally got to today. It's very simple. 3 things that you need to do. Number 1, take a picture of your face and your body. Not for me, but for you. Take it in your phone, and then also mark down your starting weight. We also have an equation for you to calculate your body mass index. This is the percent fat versus muscle, and it's very simple. It's right here. I think we've also emailed it to you or texted it to you. Also, it will be in Health Rebels. Health Rebels is going to be a great place for you guys to communicate back and forth, get to, ask questions, put in some good recipes. Please keep this for positive information. If you're having anything that's not going right, email Mariah at McCollum Wellness. Let's not hurt anybody else's chance of survival by saying something that might put off somebody from, people go into agreement with things. So your body mass index is easy. Take your weight, multiply it by 703. Why by 703? I don't know. It's the number. And then you take your height and put it in inches and square it, times 70 times 70. If you're 5'10", you take 70 inches and multiply it. Then you subtract your height or your weight times the 703 and divide it by that, and you get your BMI, body mass index, of 21.5 or whatever it might be. And then this is what is healthy or unhealthy. We also at the office have a body composition analysis machine that you'll see later on, that actually we put electrodes on your hands and feet. We run a little current there. It will tell us the muscle mass, fat mass, water content, water inside the cells, outside the cells, and the health of your cell wall. And that's a pretty cool thing to do at the beginning, at the end. If you want to do that, the body mass index is fine. But if you want to do that, you can call and make an appointment. I do need to charge for my staff's time for it. It would be $50 for the 2 altogether. Don't need to do it. You can do the body mass index and work fine. Some people that are a little more engaged go, I want to know more, do that. Other than that, this is fine. That's how they've been doing it. I just have to have that machine happen to. So our goals for week 1 is to get off of the blood sugar roller coaster. This is the thing that makes you hangry. We're going to get you enjoying glucose versus our ketones. We're going to teach you between ketones and glucose. So I know I'm giving you a lot of data, but we're going to break it down. Tomorrow's going to be one simple step. Wednesday, one simple step, but you need to have the big picture. So starting today or tomorrow, if you like, start counting how many times you put food in your mouth or want to. The average American puts something in their mouth 17 times a day. They put in a nut, a piece of gum, a sip of something sweet, a snack, another snack, another snack. They're munching all day while they're working. This causes the glucose level to skyrocket, which means your pancreas is going to be pouring out insulin. You're going to get into an inflammatory condition that is going to make you sick. Chronic inflammation causes chronic disease. And we also, so step 1, count how much stuff you're putting in your mouth. Step 2, stop eating all of the bad stuff on that health pyramid. Okay? Stop eating any sugars, any breads, pastas, grains, milk, etc. And so you'll see that list. Okay? Now, this is going to make some people gulp, but if you can't do it today, start tomorrow. Eliminate a few things. Now, people are going to come up to me, and this is a 21-day challenge, right? They're going to come up and go, well, I found this grain that's non-gluten and it's non-blah, blah, blah, and it's, don't get creative. Everybody comes up with these real cool keto snacks I found in the store that I can eat between meals. No, it's 3 meals a day, keto-friendly meals. Go through the shopping list, stay away from all of the money-making keto machines that have created this for this fad so they can make a lot of money, and it spoils what we're trying to get done here. Okay, so no cool keto snacks. Do that later. Right now, don't. Okay, my recommendation. And then buy keto-friendly ingredients off of the shopping list. And you all are going to get that downloaded if you don't already. And then I would highly recommend, if you're serious about changing your health for the long haul, get a keto meter. We'll be teaching about it. I'll show you what one looks like. You don't have to by any means. You could get some keto pea strips that will just say you've got some ketones. We don't know how much, but the keto meter is going to help you dial this in. You know, like we had so many people lose so much weight, dialing this in one way or another. The keto meter is a good way to go. And then we're going to go down, and this will be explained, the 2-2-2-2 rule, which is explained, I think, tomorrow. So just don't try to get everything today. Just kind of realize you got hit with a fire hose. Relax. We're going to go over it bit by bit, but I want you to really realize that you're going to be able to make this happen. You just got to stick with it. And I see there's a lot of chats, so we'll get to those. Mistake number one, people start looking for all the cool ketogenic snacks available and try to get creative on how to snack within the diet. Don't do it. Okay, already went through that. So the healthy 2-2-2-2 rule, and you'll have this, is that you want to eat 2 tablespoons of 3 different oils every day. So 2 tablespoons of coconut oil or medium chain, triglyceride. Right now, we're still doing 3 keto meals a day. So if you want to put some oil in your smoothie, like coconut oil, or you can get grass-fed butter is great, not nickel-inflated canola oil with yellow dye number 47, which is called margarine. Then grass-fed butter or ghee, which is, I forget whatever the kind of butter. It's clarified butter. Ghee is a really good healthy oil. We're doing this to make our cell walls flexible so that hormones can attach to them so they become healthy. 2 tablespoons of olive oil or coconut oil. One real important thing of olive oil, if you're getting any olive oil, it's not 100% California grown olive oil, you're probably getting junk oil. The only olive oil in the world that has to be 100% organic olive oil or 100% olive oil is California. That's the only place in the world that has strict rules on that. So you can get, there's California olive oil in the stores. One just says California olive oil, that's the name. And then it says Argentina, Italy, blah, blah, blah. There's a black market for it, and they're mixing in canola oil and all these other oils. There's no regulation. You have no idea what you're getting. So if you want to help your cells get healthy, when you buy olive oil, it has to say 100% California olive oil on it. Now I'll mention this again in a minute. One of the really important things is sea salt. Now, not the salt that gets your high blood pressure, but Himalayan sea salt, and there's a few other ones. As we're burning our fat, we're going to be burning and losing minerals, and you need to replenish those minerals or you're going to burn muscle. I'll explain that more, but it's called gluconeogenesis. So mistake number one, don't start looking for the cool snacks. Mistake number two, don't eat all your oils at once. Some of you remember that one of our contestants in one of the first groups came back the following week and said, I ate all 6 tablespoons at once, and boy, did she have a fun time in the bathroom. So you don't want to do that. You take them throughout the day, okay? And then if you don't consume enough salt, I didn't say that right. Don't consume enough sea salt. Oh yeah, that's a mistake. Don't consume enough sea salt. You'll start burning muscle. You don't want to do that. So 3 keto-friendly meals a day. Low carbs, less than 50. And on the next, I think it's day 3, we're going to teach you how to count your carbs, how to look at you can go to, I'll show you in a second, this thing called the carb, forget the name, but it'll be here in a minute. And you can load it up on your phone. I don't do this because I'm just not that analytical. I'm more expressive, if you couldn't tell. So I kind of am the guy that's just always moving 100 miles an hour, but some people will love this. You want moderate protein, about 40 grams, like a chicken breast, a 2 eggs, 1 egg is 6 grams. Very easy to kind of look this stuff up. Some of you are going to want to be more specific. Others are going to kind of just work with it. we got the rest of your life for you to get your diet under control and get your health under control. That's a lot of information. I know we're going to repeat it over and over and over again until pretty soon you're going to say, what can't adapt? Oh, bad cells can't adapt. And so you'll know this. It will be in your DNA. 60% of your diet will work out to be healthy oils. So we have the keto coffee recipe that we showed you that you can put ghee in the morning, or whipping cream, heavy whipping cream. Whipping cream, by the way, is 100% fat. Okay, it's not. It doesn't have lactose in it. When you use half and half, you're getting lactose, which is sugar. Anytime you take milk, it's sugar. 2% milk, your body can't recognize those proteins because they don't exist in nature. So when they do something like change the size of the protein, your body's going to figure out how to digest it, but it isn't good for you. We're want you to go back to eating foods from nature. Here it is, the Carb Manager. You can get this for free online, and or on your app store. And you can put in, I don't know if this says what they put in here, one little food. Oh, I'm going to go, oh, that food is blah, blah, net carbs. So much. Oh yeah, see here, look, here's total carbs minus fiber is 27. So 31 minus 4 is 27. So that's going to do your net carb for you, because that's the only carbs we're worried about. Tell you how much fat it is and how much protein. You could put in a chicken breast. It's going to tell you what that is. So for some of you, this will be really helpful. Some of you won't want to do it. Some of you will have a difficult time figuring it out like I did. So, but once somebody showed me, it was easy, but I'm just not that analytical. But maybe for you, that's what you want. Where are we? We're getting to the end. This is the Keto Meter, okay? And the Keto Mojo. This is the best one on the market. It's the one Dr. Pompa recommends. You want to get the one that comes with 50 keto and 50 glucose. When we get more into some fasting, we want to get the ratio of our glucose to ketones to a certain level. In other words, you're burning so much fat and so much carbohydrates all the time. Right now, we're burning this much fat and this much carbohydrates. We can't even see the fat on the scale. We need to get that up so you can lose the weight. If you don't burn fat, you're not going to lose any weight. Also, when we're burning fat, because toxins are stored in there, you may get some reactions called Hertz reactions, which are detox reactions. Keto flu, they call it. When you start to notice that, you want to email Mariah at McCollumWellness.com and let her know, and we'll give you some guidelines. We'll put a lot of that stuff in Health Rebels, because everybody needs to get this information. You're not going to be unique in what's going on. So how does the reset work? There will be videos emailed to participants daily. Simply click on the link provided to watch that day's teachings. These will have the daily steps and some yummy recipes by me. You can also view these in the private Facebook group Health Rebels. Please be sure to ask to join the group. You will receive daily information set up in a gradual way for the best duplication, tips and tricks, recipes, inspiration videos, and more. Health Rebels will serve as the best medium to share wins, ask questions, and communicate with your fellow enthusiasts. You don't have to join it. You can, I was talking to somebody who isn't on Facebook, but her sister is going to do it and may be on it. So you guys can work together with that. You can always email. Again, Facebook, please don't bring in outside stuff. This is distracting to the participants. Don't bring in things that don't have to do with the ketogenic diet. Afterwards, you can do what you want. This is enough information to start right away. So please feel free to ask questions of Mariah or leave comments on Facebook. The questions help everybody. So we really appreciate you all being here. I'm going to get to your questions in a minute. The Keto Coffee video went out, I think, yesterday. It will be pinned in Health Rebels, and you should have it in your emails. If you don't have all this stuff, Mariah will send out an email tomorrow to tell you how to get it. I'm not going to try to tell you what she's going to do today, but it's going to be, every morning. If you don't like coffee, you can drink tea. If you don't like tea, you can put some healthy oils in some kind of water and put in some cinnamon and, get creative, a little vanilla extract, things like that. One of the videos we're going to send you is an interview I did with David Avocado Wolf, really great guy. He is the guy who invented the bullet, the NutriBullet. He has a farm in Hawaii and another one, and it's all natural. The largest organic vanilla bean farm in the United States. But he's going to be doing a video on the colors of food. What food do what for what part of the body? Like red food is really good or purple is really good for the brain, like those dark berries. Yellow food's really good for the immune system. Green food's really good for digestion. And he'll go into that. It's really fascinating. So look out for that David Wolf video. It'll probably come out in a week or so. So hopefully you'll like that. Okay, this is your to-do list. Get on Health Rebels. Get in the email group with Mariah at McCollum Wellness so you can get the videos sent to you daily. I think she's also going to put them in Health Rebels daily so you can get them either way. Take a photo of your face. Please do this. Don't show it to anybody but you. Take a picture of your body if you are so inclined. Keep that to yourself. Estimate your body mass index. Remember, it's that equation I told you. Or come to the office and get the BIA. You're going to need to make an appointment for that. Our staff is going to, it takes them a little while to do it. Since I'm not charging anything for this group. And let me tell you why. It's been so busy for the last several years, and I have not been able to do these workshops. And so many people need it, and I can't possibly help them all individually. So I figured, let's just do this, and I'll just do it complimentary, and hopefully it will help you. So bear with some of the glitches. You can afford me. Order the Keto Meter. I highly recommend it. There's a link for it. Download your shopping list, the keto recipes, besides the one that I'm sending you, the keto cheat sheet, the glossary of terms, and then set a goal to cross the finish line. It doesn't matter if you've only done part of the stuff. Hang in there. It's a change of life. It's not a sprint. Okay, and this is number 8. I didn't go change this. Count how many times you're putting food in your mouth every day. The average person puts a 17 in there. Every time you put food in your mouth, your pancreas produces insulin. This robs you of energy, producing inflammation, diverts fat burning, and more. So the 4 things are: take a picture, do your body mass index, count how many times you're putting food in your mouth. And there was one more. The mistakes again, don't start looking for all these cool keto snacks. Just eat healthy food. Because a lot of the keto snacks are not natural. They're created, and they put junk in there. They go, oh, it's not full of gluten, but it's full of gum, boom, boom, and all this other stuff that's inflammatory, and we don't even know what it does yet. So stay away from that during the 21 days. Don't take all your oils at once, or you might want to be alone if you do that. Don't consume enough sea salt. And you just take it, put it on liberally on things. If you have high blood pressure, so table salt causes high blood pressure, not sea salt. If you have a medical condition and you need to check with your doctor, be sure to talk to him about what you're doing. He may guide you in certain ways. He can always, we'll help you as much as we can, but we're not prescribing or deprescribing medicine. And then number 4 is to believe that you will fail or you won't make it. Okay, you will make it. This is a lifestyle change. You have the rest of your life to change the way you eat. Okay, just start again tomorrow. 21-day challenge. So real quickly, I think this is the last slide. 21-day challenge, but it really begins, it's the beginning of lifestyle change. Okay, you're going to reset the microbiome in your gut, reducing craving. You're going to improve your digestive function by reducing the inflammation in your gut, increase your energy by diverting it away from the digestive process, improve brain function by reducing inflammation, and by teaching your brain to burn ketones instead of sugar, improve hormone function, which I really believe is the main thing, by reducing the toxic load at a cellular level, lose weight by turning your body into a fat burning fuel, and it's supposed to be a fat burning machine, improve your immune function by reducing the disease processes in the body already so it can go fight the outside battles, reduce anxiety and depression by optimizing your hormones. And guess what? You're going to save money on this. Not only is this free, but you're going to save money because you're not going to be buying as much junk food full of empty calories to make you never satiated. So you're going to have to eat more all the time. So you're going to actually save money here. Even though organic food may be more expensive, it fills you up more because it's healthy, it's full, and it isn't full of toxins. This is my book, Turn Back Your Biological Clock. It's a great story on an individual 63 years old who found himself, woke up in a hospital in bad health, realized that life was slipping by. And it walks you through this exact process we're going through in a little bit of a story mode. And it has a lot of background, a lot more information. You can get it online at Amazon, or I think there's probably a link for it. So I'd appreciate you buying that, just to kind of help you, but also you can send it to somebody else. And then, so that's the last slide. And my goal for you is that you never are the same again. Let's look at the chat real quick and see what I can see here. We don't see slides 3 and 4. Well, a little late for that. If anyone has questions, you can ask them in this chat. I just bought Mindy's book. Great. Fast Like a Girl. That's awesome. Yeah, Mindy's a really good friend of mine, and her book is amazing. We work together a lot. If you haven't received an email with those documents yet, please email Mariah and she'll get them to you. Denise Camacho, to everyone, would you also send me the list of good proteins? Thank you. Okay, we'll make sure that's good. What if I don't eat meat? Well, that's a big question. And, you know, we are not, our bodies grew up carnivores. That's, you know, there are diets for it, but you're going to need to find some meat substitutes because you need protein. And this might not be the right program for you if that's not something that you want to look at, but you don't eat any fish or anything. Okay, Elizabeth, how about raw cheese? And is that considered milk? Yeah, if you eat goat cheese, you're okay, because it doesn't have the caseins in it. And that stuff from the goat cheese is okay. Milk isn't great, but whole cream in the coffee is correct. Yeah, and you can also put watch the video on that. Is in the recommended shopping list A2 cow's milk list acceptable? So I would stay away from milk right now because milk burns as sugar. If you're going to drink milk, you're going to have to cut out all the other calories you want to eat. So for the 21 days, when we're turning your body into a ketone burning machine, I would stay away from that. So maybe on the shopping list, there are some questions because this is a long-term shopping list. You can always put it in the chat or ask us. There's not a perfect scenario. We're trying to give you the best guidelines we can to move things forward. On the Keto Meters website, is it 70 test strips? If they do have a 70 now, they might have changed it, but you want both the same amount of glucose and ketone test strips because you're going to be testing your glucose a couple times a day. Who can see your messages? Recording on. Any 4 new messages? Can I eat fish and tofu? Yeah, fish, tofu's a phytoestrogen. It acts like a estrogen, except for it shoots blank. So when you eat a lot of tofu, your body's estrogen cells get filled up with 0 potent estrogens and actually will make you estrogen deficient. That's a whole nother subject. I wouldn't be eating a lot of tofu when it was first eaten by the people who ate it. It was like a little condiment, not a main meal, but there's more on that. Fish is great. However, fish has got a lot of mercury in it. I don't, you might email Mariah on that. Have you ever heard of anyone giving you favorite restaurant your own? Yeah, oh, absolutely. A single guy who doesn't cook. Any thoughts? Yeah, Dr. Pompa and his wife, when we go out to eat with them, they have a list of oils that are acceptable. I'll try to get, I have a copy of it somewhere and I'll get it for you guys. And they just say, we're allergic to all these oils. So, we're allergic to canola oil, we're allergic to, peanut oil, we're allergic to all these other oils. Can you cook everything in olive oil? And or so they'll cook it in olive oil or any of the healthy oils, avocado oil and such. Sometimes they'll call and say, we have a party of 5 coming in. There's a lot of us that have allergies, food allergies. Will you be able to cook in certain oils for us? And most, I don't know, they won't go if it, they won't eat there if it doesn't. So right now we're trying to get into the 21-day thing. And Scott, whatever you did right last time, you lost 100 pounds. So, you're doing something right. But yeah, there's a list. You can just go in and say, you know what, I'm allergic to peanut oil. They don't want to feed you peanut oil in there. They don't want you to be blowing up in the restaurant. So you just tell them, yeah, I'd like to get, my fish cooked in olive oil. I'm allergic to it. And then they comply because believe me, they don't want a lawsuit. Why no shellfish? Shellfish has a lot of mercury in it. And so during the time that we're going through the 21 days, remember this is 21 days, okay? That's important to remember. Are there any suggestions for portable meals? Yeah. Unfortunately, my staff at our office, we're trying to figure this out too. We're going to rotate making lunch meals that are ketogenic. Taking your lunch. A lot of the recipes I talk about, when you see them, I talk about making more so you can have them for leftovers or to take them to work. Right now we're trying to make a change. It's 21 days long. If you need to pack lunches, there's a lot of meats and things that you can take to eat. You can, if you have artichoke at night, take one for lunch. It's not convenient, right? But it is going to save your life if you change the way you eat. I know a good delivery. Yeah, there is a delivery. Can somebody put that in the chat? It was, we had a lot of people. I think you might have even done it last time, Scott. They'll deliver keto meals for it was $8. It's got to be more than that now, like $12 a meal. You order in advance and they bring you a week's worth of really healthy keto meals. So that's good. Does all fish contain mercury? Like salmon? Great question. The smaller the fish, the less mercury. It goes up the food chain, from this little bugger got et by this guy, who got et by this guy, got et by this guy, and you accumulate and that fish lives for a long time. So you're accumulating more mercury farther up the food chain you are. So sardines, have a lot less mercury than a salmon, anchovies, all those things you love to eat, right? But, and, things like sole and those kind of things are going to be younger fish that they don't have all that time to get all that stuff. So they're recommending eating fish like that once a week. Later on, we'll talk about doing heavy metal tests if people are interested, and you wouldn't eat meat for a week with that. Fish because of the mercury. I did pre-made meals from Factor something. Yeah, local chef Jamie Smith. So maybe Scott, I don't know if you're in the Facebook group or if you could just email that to Mariah, the contact information, that might help some people out. Can we use almond flour as alternatives? Okay, so this is one of those things, and it's a great question, but I would rather you try I make it tomorrow, tomorrow. Look at the recipe. Get the jicama wraps from Trader Joe's, or now they carry it at Whole Foods, and try it. So here we're trying to find a different inflammatory food that's not quite as inflammatory as the one that we would like to eat, you know. And so for 21 days, I would stay away from the things like almond flour and stuff. If, you know, and again, it's not a perfect world. If you just have to do something like that, go for it. So portable keto meals delivered by Foodsmith, that's Chef James, okay? Myfoodsmith.com, okay? So that might be the same thing from Elizabeth, thank you. Okay, I think we got most of the questions answered. I hope this was helpful. It's gonna be fun. This thing will be sent to you tomorrow in a, hi Debbie, thank you. Thank you for offering this 21-day reset to all of us. Let the journey begin. And Debbie, you're a veteran. You've been with us for quite a while on these things. And I know you were one of those people just dying to do it. So that's great. And Pesky, thanks, Dunk. I appreciate it. And we will, now for the next few videos, they will be recorded videos. Thursday video is a recorded video. Please watch it. And then next Monday, we will do this again. So submit any questions you have via email to Mariah throughout the week. If we need to, we'll answer them right away, but I will bring them up with the group next Monday, 7 o'clock Zoom meeting. And anybody's welcome to join. You can bring them in, you can send them the stuff. Let's just make the world a happier place. So I appreciate you all very much. And I'm gonna stop sharing that screen. And I think we're done. I'll see you all next week. Bye.
Okay, bye.